All right, next. Well, so continuing on this theme of transparency, I really would like to raise an issue that has been of great concern to me for quite a long time. So I'm assuming that when the H5N1 work, when you first heard about it, it had already been done. I don't assume, I don't imagine that you were involved in the decision to say this was good to do from the very start, but please correct me if I'm wrong on that. But when I first heard about it, I found it to be quite disturbing, and I was hoping that I would hear quite a lot of discussion among my colleagues about it. But shortly afterwards, there was an editorial that appeared in the Washington Post in which you and Dr. Collins and Dr. Nobel basically laid out what I and many of my friends took to be the official NIH line, that this was how we were going to justify exactly what had been done. And as a result of that, I think Paul Zimmer and many of his friends probably found it difficult to get scientists to talk to journalists. I got a lot of calls that I really didn't want to take for a variety of reasons, but one was that I didn't at the time think that it showed NIH in a particularly good light. As a result of that, I think there has not been as much discussion within the biological community as one would have liked to have seen about the wisdom of doing many of these experiments. Just what is going to go on in the future. I think we were all very happy when we heard there was a moratorium. And I feel particularly good that I now hear you saying that there are experiments that should not be done. I can tell you that there are a number of my Nobel colleagues who do not feel the same way. They do not think there are any experiments that should not be done. But I'm heartened that at least NIH feels there are experiments that should not be done. But I would like to see a lot more sort of transparency possible, and a lot more people who feel, their grants will not be threatened if they come out and say that the official NIH policy in the past has been correct. So I have a question at the end of this. Okay. No, I'm sure. So, my question really is the following, that in the event that there were a broader inquiry and a broader discussion in the scientific community about this, and NIH really decided, well, perhaps they should not have funded these experiments in the first place, is it conceivable that NIH would say so and would then implement these new policies that you're talking about, and that we would not be seeing a lot of additional work on H5N1? Or in your view, do you think we're going to be seeing a lot more? Are we going to see, for instance, if it can be transmitted to pigs?
Well, you said a lot. I'm trying to answer your specific question, but what I'm a little bit confused about is that there are people who think that if they disagree with the NIH policy, that their grants won't be funded.
That's exactly correct.
My goodness.
People have told me
My
that
goodness.
directly.
I mean, that is shocking to me, that the peer review system that drives the funding of NIH grants makes that virtually impossible to happen. So, that to me, quite frankly, I would find to be preposterous. So, now, getting back to your question.